In this clipping, I talk about the revolution of France in the year 1789. In fact, this was the biggest revolution that occurred in Europe at that time and which gave the people liberty, equality and fraternity as the watchword. At that time in 1789, it was Louis XVI who was ruling France. He was autocratic in nature, did not bother about the welfare of the people, kept on increasing taxes on the people, wherein only the third estate, if you remember class 9, had to pay all the taxes. So there was so much of upheaval in the country that people decided to revolt against their monarch. Well, the French Revolution of 1789 saw the change of sovereignty from the monarch, that is Louis XVI, into the hands of the common people. And after this revolution, it was Louis Philippe who actually took over, and he became a constitutional monarch, that is from absolute monarch to constitutional monarch, wherein his powers were restricted. But the people were yet not happy, and there was a turmoil in 1848 in almost all countries of Europe, as there was food shortage, and when the people revolted, the revolt was so big that the king had to flee the country. Now after this, the National Assembly was formed, that is the French Parliament, and this new National Assembly gave suffrage to all the adult males in the country, that is all those above 21, and paid a certain kind of tax to the government. That means again, everybody did not stand on equal pedestal. Next is, by this National Assembly, of course, a uniform language, laws and weights and measures for the country was standardized. But all these measures still could not make the people happy, and therefore there had to be more revolutions. Looking at the situation, the political situation in France, the advantage was taken up by Napoleon, who took over the reins of the government in his own hands. So once again, from a democratic government, it moved into a monarchical government. But the Jacobean clubs were formed in other countries also, because they got inspiration from the French Revolution. When this was continuing, Napoleon made himself very, very powerful in the country and also in other countries. Now Napoleon, as soon as he sat on the throne, he gave a civil code to the country, which was called as the Napoleonic Civil Code. And he gave equality to all the citizens. The right to property was also given to the people. So though the rule was monarchical in nature, but it was a welfare government. Now the people in the other countries, as they had been looking at France as to what was happening in their government, when earlier they shifted from Louis XVI to Louis Philippe and then formed the National Assembly and moving on to Napoleon, had understood one thing, that there was a political upheaval going on in France, and they too took inspiration from here. But Napoleon, when he conquered other countries and he actually had his own say there, the people of that country gave a mixed reaction to him. The mixed reaction in a sense that in the beginning, Napoleon was considered as a messenger of liberty, but slowly people became unhappy because the taxes were increased and also because other countries were being conquered. That means he did not believe in the policy of liberty, that is giving liberation, freedom to other nations.